Hi there, this video is designed to give you some more information about essay conferences in which you'll get feedback from me this semester on the essays that you're researching and writing for this course. I've asked you to review this subject in the conferences overview document that's in week 3, but as always with ongoing major assignments, it's also linked up here in the conferences overview. So you can click on either place to get to a description of this. I encourage you first to read through this all and then to watch this video to explain things a little bit further. With every essay that you write this semester, and there's 3, one for each of the 3 topics of the themes that I have chosen for this class, you're going to write an essay about a subject that you research yourself and are interested in and focused in, and that's explained further in the essays overview. In the conferences, after you write an essay, perhaps you've gotten feedback from your group members. You'll always get feedback from me first in a topic proposal that you're submitting, and about your topic, helping you get some ideas together, how you might approach the subject. And when you have an outline or a draft, for the first essay, this will be in weeks 4 and 5, and you're actually signing up for the conference for your first conference in week 3, which is why I'm having you review it now. You will have a conversation with me about your essay. And because this is an online course, that conversation doesn't take place in person, and also it doesn't actually take place on video or anything like that. We're going to write back and forth together. And in that, we're not going to do it, though, even synchronously. So when I think of a conference, a lot of times I think about sitting down and talking to somebody right at the same time. And that's considered a synchronous conversation. It's going on in sync at the same time. What we're going to be participating in is an asynchronous conversation. We're going to use Google Docs as the platform because we can both add to it and write about what we're talking about there and contribute to the same document. And that's where our conversation will be maintained, is by you first writing to me. You'll open a Google Doc, and there's this description of how to do that within your within this assignment right here, the overview, and I will show you in just a second. And you can also do this, thinking about this is really the way that you're going to introduce it. You'll include your essay, but you're also going to talk about your essay. And this is the same thing. If you came to my office to talk about your essay, I would ask you, well, tell me what your strengths and weaknesses are. What do you think about it? What type of things do you need some help with? Or can I give you some ideas to help you move forward? And that's what your initial conference document needs to include. And I'll just show you real quick. If you're not familiar with Google Docs, I encourage people to use their HSU accounts for Google Docs just to do that. If you click on these 4 things at the top of your HSU server, you can do that. But if you open a Google Doc in your personal Google Drive, that's perfectly fine with me as well. If you go to Drive, you can create a new document. Okay, and then into this document, you can, I'm just randomly typing things, okay? You start a document that includes your text. And you can write your essay here, you can write your progress report here, which I'll talk about in a little while. You're going to include your progress report, which you'll see described in the assignment, is toward the bottom of this Google Docs conference progress reports. It's going to be a 300-word or more discussion of your essay. So you're not just sending me your essay or your outline. You can also do a conference with me in the outline stages. It doesn't have to be a complete final essay. Whatever would be the most helpful to you to keep you moving forward. But what you're going to do is in this, you're going to copy and paste, or you can work right in here. I encourage people to use Google Docs rather than WordPerfect or something, because it maintains it in the cloud and you don't have to worry about losing it. But you're going to include that information in here. What you're going to do is you're also going to share this with me. Okay, I have to name this, and actually there's a protocol described in here, and so I'm going to put Sue McIntyre Essay 1 Conference, and it's going to be on, I'm going to pick a date, 9/16, 7 a.m. Okay, this is the conference deadline, so you need to share when you sign up for a time. You'll be signing up for a time, and you'll need to share your document with me by that time. Okay, so you name your document. And you'll see that that name happened right up here. But what I'm going to do is you're going to share it with me, and you can do that by here if you start typing my name, but you can put my email address. It will start coming up. But if you type Sue McIntyre, I will come up as an option because this is the HSU system. You put my name here in the inviting people to join, and then you need to make sure that you set this on Can Edit, which means that when I get the link to your document emailed to me, I can actually click on the document and I can write in between what you've said. So you tell me about it and I'll just insert my comment right there in your essay. I'll say, hey, I think this seems like a great place for that example you were talking about in your progress report. Okay, so I'll insert things right into the document in a different color text so that you can see what mine is. I'm assuming you'll start with black text for an essay, and then I'll integrate a color, and then later you're going to come back and comment to me, and I'll ask you to choose a third color in that case. The other thing I'd ask you to do is make sure that you have it set to notify people via email, so that when you share this with me, I get the link to my email. That's how I'm going to know that you've met the deadline for sharing your document with me by the conference deadline. Okay, so you would say send, it has sent me an email. And actually if I go and look over here, look at, there it is, Sue McIntyre SA1 conference, and it came from this thing. I can then click on that link, and there I am at my jumbling things right there. Your beautiful essay and progress report though. Okay, and then I can insert things right in here. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Google Docs, there's the quick and dirty overview of that. What you're going to do is you're going to choose a date from our site, and you'll see that in week 3. It's right here in the activities. You'll choose an SA1 conference. Yep, it hasn't opened yet, so you're not going to have access to it. But if you were coming, there's going to be 5 days here. And what I've done is I've chosen 5 days for each of the conference sequences, which are essay 1, 2, and 3, and then I have in between, I also have conferences when people want to meet with me again, and I say meet, virtually through Google Docs, and talk to me about their essays revisions. Okay, maybe you talk to me about an outline and you've done more work and you've got more feedback and you have a complete draft or you have a revised draft and you want to share it with me again. You'll have that opportunity. Okay, but when you do share the essay with me on one of those dates, I've set the deadline for 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay, that does not mean that you have to email me your progress report and essay at 7 o'clock in the morning. You can send it to me anytime the day before, or even the day before that. The 7 a.m. and the date is the last time that you can get that to me in order to meet the deadline and not be considered an absence for a conference. Okay, so it's important that you do this. What will happen is after that 7 o'clock deadline, I'll get in there at some point and I will make comments. I will then send you another link. And I will do this within 12 hours. So when you send it to me by 7 p.m., within 12 hours of the deadline. So if you send it to me the night before, you're not going to hear from me within 12 hours. But you will hear from me by 7 p.m. the next day. I hope that makes sense. If you send it to me at 11 o'clock at night, I might not get to it at 11 o'clock. By 11 o'clock the next morning, it might be later in the day. So 7 p.m. is when the deadline for you to hear from me. After that, you'll have to write back to me. So you'll have to look in your email, get the link, go to the document, insert your your comments on my feedback, answer my questions, and we'll do this back and forth. You'll have 24 hours from the time that I send you my feedback to respond to me. So it's important that once you share your conference document with me, that you check your email regularly in order to get my response and feedback, and then you'll share the document with me again. Okay, we sort of have this back and forth going on. It's explained in here. If you have questions or you haven't used Google Docs before, it's really quite simple. I'm happy to talk you through it. If you have questions, you can email me. You could ask me to set up a time to talk you through it on the phone. I'm happy to do so and make it as comfortable as possible. So conferencing is your opportunity to get feedback from me. You'll also be sharing your essays with each other in response groups, and that's in another video and resource. But this is an opportunity for us to share ideas and have a conversation. It's not going to be just me, you saying, oh, well, what do you think? And me telling you about things. You're going to be doing analysis yourself, because in order to improve your writing, you have to get better at judging your own writing and identifying ways to improve. So that's going to be the basis of this conversation. I'll always start off by giving you the most important and significant type of feedback. I'll begin with things like focus. It's not really clear what your main point is, or organization, if you're jumping around a little bit. And as time goes on, or as the essay gets stronger, I'll focus in on more specific things about language, about examples, about developing your ideas further. And as we move on, things get clearer and clearer with your grammar, your spelling, your punctuation, and I rarely have to address those things, but I will if it's something significant. Okay. Those are all the things I wanted to tell you about conferences, but it's really a great opportunity to get feedback from me, for me to engage with you in a different context about your writing. And if you have questions about how this works or how I can help you further, please email me and let me know at any time. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in Google Docs. Bye-bye.